In the vast and enigmatic expanse that unfolds at the moment of death, countless accounts converge on a singular, haunting phenomenon, the encounter with divine beings in the void. Those who have teetered on the edge of mortality and returned to the world of the living often speak in hushed, reverent tones of meeting luminous entities, beings of radiant light, transcendent wisdom, and overwhelming love, that dwell beyond the threshold of life. These testimonies, drawn from diverse cultures, religions, and eras, suggest a universal tapestry woven with threads of the sacred and the ineffable, a mystery that transcends time, belief, and geography. What does it mean to meet such beings in the void? Are these encounters authentic revelations of a divine reality? Or intricate figments woven by the dying brain's desperate grasp for meaning? This question lies at the intersection of spirituality, neuroscience, and philosophy, inviting contemplation that both deepens and unsettles. The void itself is paradoxical, an emptiness that is pregnant with presence. It is not merely the absence of life but a dimension where familiar categories dissolve, where time and space lose their grip, and where consciousness, freed from corporeal bonds, enters a realm of pure potential. Into this vast nothingness, numerous near-death survivors recount the arrival of divine figures who welcome, guide, and illuminate. These beings are described with awe-inspiring qualities, some radiant and effulgent as the sun. Others cloaked in serene shadows, some speaking in silence, others communicating through a language of pure understanding beyond words. Whether named as angels, deities, ancestors, or cosmic guides, their essence is unmistakably sacred and benevolent. Anthropologists and religious scholars recognize these visions as echoes of humanity's collective spiritual archetypes, universal symbols that emerge across disparate traditions. The ancient Egyptians depicted Osiris, lord of the afterlife. Hinduism offers Yama and a pantheon of gods overseeing the soul's journey. Christianity speaks of angels and Christ himself. Indigenous peoples tell of spirit helpers who accompany the soul. These testimonies bear striking similarity not only in content but in the profound emotional transformation they induce in those who experience them. The meetings with divine beings often catalyze an irreversible shift, a healing of old wounds, the dissolution of fear, the emergence of unconditional love, and a renewed understanding of life's purpose. Skeptics and neuroscientists propose that these visions are products of the brain's final firing patterns, a last burst of neural activity orchestrating comforting hallucinations to ease the trauma of dying. The brain's limbic system, responsible for emotion and memory, may conjure familiar archetypes as a psychological defense mechanism. The release of endogenous chemicals such as dimethyltryptamine, DMT, sometimes called the spirit molecule, might generate these intense mystical experiences. From this perspective, divine beings are symbolic projections, meaningful illusions crafted by a brain desperate to transcend the terror of oblivion, yet, the consistency and profundity of these encounters defy reduction to mere hallucinations. The transformative power they hold over survivors, the cultural continuity of their imagery, and the reported knowledge imparted by these beings suggest an encounter with a reality beyond the physical. Some researchers argue for a dual aspect of consciousness, wherein the mind can access non-localized dimensions of existence. And divine beings are not figments but real presences in these transcendent spaces. Such interpretations invite a re-evaluation of materialist paradigms, proposing that the universe is imbued with consciousness and meaning extending far beyond the empirical. Philosophically, these encounters challenge the nature of identity and the self. Meeting a divine being in the void often coincides with a profound experience of unity, where the individual self dissolves into a greater whole. This unity is described not as annihilation but as a return to an original source, a cosmic home where distinctions fade and unconditional love reigns. Such moments mirror mystical teachings from the East and West. Echoing the Advaita of non-duality, the Christian mystic's communion with God, and the shamanic journeys beyond ordinary reality. The void, then, is not a barren nothingness but a sacred womb of transformation, where death is a passage into eternal presence. For those who return, the memory of divine encounters becomes a sacred treasure and a catalyst for life-altering insight. Fear of death diminishes, compassion deepens, and a new spiritual vision emerges, one that embraces mystery without desperation. These survivors often dedicate themselves to healing, teaching, or exploring consciousness, becoming living bridges between the seen and unseen. Their testimonies enrich the human story, affirming that the journey beyond death is not an end but an awakening to dimensions where divine beings await in the boundless void. Ultimately, meeting divine beings in the void confronts us with the profound enigma of existence, where science, spirituality, and human experience converge in an intimate dance of light and shadow. Whether these encounters are windows into an eternal reality or the mind's final symphony, they invite us to reconsider what it means to die, to live, and to be part of a cosmos that might be far more mysterious and luminous than we dare to imagine. The void is not emptiness but a threshold, an invitation to embrace the unknown and to recognize that, at the edge of death, we may find not darkness, but the radiant presence of the divine itself.